Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Crypto Corner live on the Sovereignty Network and rebroadcast at Crypto Traders News today. I apologize, I'm a little bit late, about 20 minutes past the typical beginning of the show. I keep having these technical difficulties. I keep trying to get set up here and then having either the camera, basically having issues with the camera, the mic, the internet connection. Pretty consistently lately. I don't know what the issue is with everything, but I struggle. I'm sorry. I love you guys. I apologize for the confusion. If you're wondering where the show is at the prompt typical time of 12 o'clock Central Standard Time, I apologize. Please forgive me, everybody. And thank you for joining. What's up, Aaron, Dave, High 10, Tracy Sherwood, Pascal Van Veen? Sorry about that. So, let me start by saying, first of all, I'm Kurt Wuckert Jr., and I'm not a registered investment advisor. Nothing that I say should be misconstrued as buy or sell advice. You need to be your own boss, be your own bank, be your own blah, 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 and don't spend any money that you cannot afford to lose, because this stuff is dangerous, and this show is specifically for edutainment purposes only. I'm not qualified to do any of this, but you listen because I edutain, which is a combination of education and entertainment, not optimized for either, as I am neither an educator nor an entertainer. So let's talk a little bit about the markets real quick, since we are past the disclaimer here. The number one, wow, interesting. I go to Bittrex.com. Bittrex is the number one volume altcoin exchange in the United States. CreditBit is the biggest growth coin on Bittrex right now, which is weird because its volume is only 16 Bitcoin worth of volume. So it's probably some end of a pump and dump going on over there. And let's look at the USDT markets. Of course, the big boy on the block, a Bitcoin SegWit, that's BTC, sitting at 6,599. Ethereum sitting at $3.69, ADA Cardano at 14 cents, Ripple at 47 cents, Omise Go $9.30, Litecoin at $113, Verge at 6 cents, Bitcoin Cash at 601, Neo, or as I like to call it, the Chinese Ethereum, sitting at $44.90. Ethereum Classic, $13.13. Monero, $165. Bitcoin Gold, sitting at $39.60. Zcash, sitting at $174.74. Dash, $285. TrueUSD at $1.01. And NXT, sitting at 11 cents. So that's your market update, ladies and gentlemen. What's up, Ali Reza? Good to have you, my friend. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on in the world markets in general today. So rather than talking about crypto markets, which we talk about essentially every day here on Crypto Corner Live, I want to talk a little bit about what I think is a coming trade war. Now you have to ask yourself, what is a trade war? In fact, everyone there, what's a trade war, Kurt? Well, a trade war is when people that should be doing business with each other instead have a pissing match over who can be the worst in the economy. Right now we have Donald Trump, who is building walls and setting up, he's alleging to build walls, which politically is about as good as building walls themselves, but what we're talking about is tariffs. Now, what a tariff is it's a tax on an item as it makes its way across a border. So if you cross a border, and here's the big problem. If you cross a border, that border is somewhat arbitrary. Unless your border is a river or a mountain, or an ocean shore or something, your border is pretty arbitrary. So like the border between the U.S. and Canada, for example, is a really arbitrary border. Now, I understand political alliances, Canadian culture is Canadian culture and U.S. culture is what it is and blah, blah, blah. But, I understand that. But what I like to point them out as is these are the borders at which one warlord agrees not to cross over and tax the plebeians on the plantation of another warlord. So if you live in Minnesota, for example, you're not going to be taxed by Canada. Canada, however, taxes the people that are in their borders. So that's the basic function of borders themselves, but they're pretty arbitrary. We're all just people trying to do business with each other, aren't we? I mean, ultimately, I want to have, personally, I like German cars, and I like Japanese electronics, and I like, I like textiles from Pakistan and Southeast Asia. I like consumer goods that are made in China because they're inexpensive and they're typically assembled well. So running a worldwide economy is something that works fine. This is what a free market looks like. In a free market, you can choose to do business with whomever you please. Well, we don't have a free market because we have to do business with who the government pleases. And Donald Trump, a man who claims to be a free market advocate, is now talking about setting up these massive tariffs. So the main thing that he talked about was steel. So steel comes to this country from China. Now, Chinese steel is not well known for its quality, but that's not really the point. You don't need extremely high quality steel except for in very specific applications. So medium quality steel of an inexpensive price is what's used readily in the economy to build relatively inexpensive things for us to use. Consumer goods, typically, well, not consumer goods, I mean, buildings, that kind of thing, like the kind of things that only require medium grade steel. So Donald Trump is going to make that much more difficult to obtain. He's going to put a tax on it, which just passes that cost to me and you. It just makes everything more expensive unnecessarily. Well, in response, China is going to be putting tariffs on American goods coming in. So what we're doing with each other is we're deciding to just make each other's goods more expensive. And the idea behind it, and I understand the basic premise, is that Donald Trump wants American steel to be able to compete with Chinese steel. And the problem is that if China is just simply more efficient, then it's silly for us to try to compete with them. They should do what they do efficiently, and we will do what we do efficiently. That's the nature of that's the nature of a free market. That's the nature of an economy. That's essentially what capitalism came from. So this trade war, I think, can have huge implications on the economy as a whole. And when I say the economy, I don't mean the U.S. economy. I mean the worldwide economy. And that can have implications against the U.S. dollar, the Chinese yuan, and then it brings us circling to cryptocurrency. Can Bitcoin solve some of these problems? Can some of these other things, can cryptocurrency solve some of the problems that are created by government? And I have to remind everybody that cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, was invented in 2009 specifically to deal with the problem of government intervention into the economy. I'm not sure what direction that's all going to go, but I think if the economy is going to crash, I would certainly like to have some cryptocurrency available to transact business, especially if the US dollar is going to start falling in value because it's involved in a trade war between world superpowers. So be really specific about what cryptocurrency you have. Make sure that the cryptocurrency that you have can be used easily as digital cash, because we might be in for a little bit of a bumpy ride coming into like the midterm future. And when I say the midterm future, I mean potentially years of time. So cryptocurrency is a hedge, so is precious metal and other stuff too. But here on Crypto Corner Live, myself from Kurt Wuckert Jr., I'm recommending have a little bit of some other things available just in case the markets get really, really, really crazy, because that could certainly happen. Got a question here from Eli Reza Safi saying, could you explain what Coinbase means by withdrawing Bitcoin forks? That means they won't add new assets for trading? I believe that is exactly the case. Coinbase has mentioned that they're going to be adding ERC20 support to their wallets. Ethereum can function as a multi-asset wallet. So if something exists on the Ethereum blockchain, you should be able to just send those assets to your Ethereum wallet. And that's been a criticism, is that Coinbase only allows you to hold ETH. And ETH is only one of the very many coins that function on the Ethereum blockchain. So they're going to add support for that. That was news about a week ago. Well, yesterday, Coinbase also announced that they will be supporting withdrawal of other forks on their chains, specifically the Bitcoin chain. I believe this this is most applicable to Bitcoin Gold, the BTG chain, which is essentially just a fork of the SegWit chain of Bitcoin that is ASIC resistant. So rather than using ASIC mining, it's GPU mined. But they want to allow Coinbase customers to be able to withdraw their Bitcoin Gold, but I don't believe they're going to allow trading of Bitcoin Gold, at least not at first. That may change as GDAX opens up their markets to more things, but we'll see. Coinbase is extremely conservative, so it's really hard to make predictions on where that's going. The other thing that I want to talk about is I'm going to put a link here in the comments because I've been talking about this debate between Blockstream and Bitcoin Cash, Samson Mow versus Roger Ver. I've just put it here in the comments so that you can see it. If you're watching on YouTube, you can navigate to Facebook to check these out later. But this conversation between Roger Ver and Samson Mow is very, very interesting. It's a debate form. I think it really gets into some of the issues between Bitcoin Core, the core development team, and how they view the Bitcoin ecosystem, and Bitcoin Cash. The Bitcoin Cash ecosystem is a very different group than the Bitcoin Core ecosystem. And I don't say Bitcoin Core as the coin, but Bitcoin Core is the name of the client software and the development community of the BTC chain. So before anyone jumps in to correct me, as people like to do, that's what's going on there. So check the link, watch the video. I think it's really interesting to watch Samson Mow from Blockstream debate with Roger Ver. It seems like the criticisms of either side come down to political differences, and they come down to just who's on which side generally. But I'd be curious to see who wins these debates from a third party who doesn't understand much about either side. So I'm going to wrap it up. I just want to tell everybody, have a lovely weekend. I am very grateful for everyone who watches the show. Please like, share, subscribe, let your friends know about the show. The comments here are always really helpful. The social media ecosystem is out to get cryptocurrency, and by get I mean censor. So we need the organic likes and clicks. If you like this show, please share it with your friends. It's really the only way they'll get to see it, because Facebook is actively trying to eliminate my ability to communicate directly to you. So it's up to us. It's up to us to spread that information organically. So I want to wrap it up. Say, have a very nice weekend. Be very careful out there. The markets are a little bit soft. I don't know if I'd be necessarily going long today. I think we could still plausibly see a $3,000 Bitcoin, and then the same amount of money both directions on the other coins as well, because everything is very much tied to Bitcoin at the moment on the markets. So peace sign in the frame. Love you guys. Have a lovely weekend. And I will see you next week at 12 o'clock Central Standard Time right here on the Facebook, and then uploaded later on YouTube and everywhere else. So thanks for watching. I'm Kurt Wuckert Jr. Peace out. Happy Friday. Bye-bye.